Hello everyone, my name is K. James and welcome to the 5th episode in my series of Adobe Illustrator tutorials for beginners. This episode is going to be focused on colors such as swatches, Pantone, and CMYK along with gradients. Now, colors are a large part of graphic design and Adobe Illustrator has a lot of them. To start off with, it is important to know that there are different kinds of colors that belong to certain families. These colors also are best when used for a specific type of graphic design. For example, red, green, blue colors are best when creating artwork for digital and web. For print, it's best to use CMYK, and Pantone, it's best for cartoon artwork and referencing color. This is why, when creating your document at the beginning, they ask what kind of color scheme we want to use. Now, if you want to change this, you can go up to File, Document Color Mode, and select between two of the options. Now, one of the most important parts of using color is being comfortable using your Swatches panel. This should already be here on the right, but if it's not, you can always go up to Window and then come down and select Swatches. This Swatches panel will have a selection of predefined colors, but it's fully customizable. You can click up here in the top right to add a new swatch, where you can look through a great selection of customizing your colors from different types of groups, such as RGB and CMYK. You can also come down to this button in the bottom left, where then you can click, go to color books, and have a large selection of different colors. Now, one thing when you're creating a new swatch from inside here is that you can create CMYK and RGB, but you can't create Pantone. Now, that's because Pantone are a set amount of colors. To get to that, you go to here, color books, and then select one of the Pantones. I prefer to use CMYK coated. Now, if we enlarge this box, you will see that this is basically just a library with a ton of different colors. Now, for example, say that you like one of these colors, say this one here. All you need to do to add it to your swatches panel is click, drag, and place it in here, and you will see that it's there right now. Now that we know how to make our way around basic colors, we are going to look at the gradient panel. Now, the gradient panel, I don't have it up here for my essentials, but if I go up to Window and I go to Gradient, you will see that it appears. Now, the way that this works is that first you select what type of gradient you want it to be, whether you want it to be radial, as in a circle, or linear, as in from left to right. Now, as you can see, this is a very boring gradient to begin with, so let's add some color to it. In order to do it, you'll see that they already have two gradient sliders set for you down here. Gradient sliders is what you can do to distribute the color. Now, if I want to add a color to it, I can click on it, come down to this little icon here called Swatches, and you'll see that my thing that I saved there earlier is there again. Now, say I want to add another color, I'm going to do the same thing by clicking on it, going down, and selecting this red. Now, we have a really nice gradient so far, which I can change how it's distributed using this slider, but what I want to do is add another color to the middle. So all I need to do is take my mouse cursor, go down right next to this square and click, and you'll see that another square gets added. So double clicking that, choosing a different color, and there we go. Now this is a gradient that I really like. In order to save this gradient, all I need to do is go up to the small square box in the top left, click, drag, and bring it into my swatches panel, and you'll see that it's saved. Now, we can also add these colors to vectors. So if we come over to the shape tool, choose a rectangle, create a basic one, we can then click on these colors to apply them. But say I want to apply one to the stroke and one to the fill. I'm going to take the Pantone I saved earlier and drag it just on top of the fill. Oh, I missed. And drag it just on top of the fill color, and you'll see that it changes. And then I'm going to drag my gradient and drag it just on top of the stroke color. So, if we want to quickly increase the stroke by going up to brushes, you will see that the gradient is now applied to the outside of it. Now this is a great way to choose colors that you want and apply them to vectors. Now I want to have the gradient fill on the inside and the other one on the stroke, so all I need to do is come down to this little section here and use the flip arrow. The eyedropper tool is the final tool we are going to look at. You will find it halfway down the toolbar. The way that it works is that if there's color anywhere on your workspace and you click on it, you can then apply that color to any other shape. Now, I have got a colorful image off of Google, and I'm going to paste it into my artboard and use the selection tool to move it around. Say then I want to add it to a vector here, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool, click on that color, and look, it works. It makes that color. Say that I move it around and want to change it, I can find the color that I really like. So, that about sums up this video on color. Remember, if there are any hotkeys you think you missed out on, just check the description. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.